At the second stage, we will prepare cost accumulation and unit cost summary. That is the same process which I have already explained you many times. This is basically average method, and average method is used when work in process opening inventory is given and breakup of the cost element is also given. If we don't have breakup of the cost, we cannot apply weighted average method. So work in process opening inventory cost is given in our question, and we have written over here. Then the cost received in this period is from department A is 51,000, and cost charged by the department, that is also given in our question. We have written them in over here. And when we add up of the two costs, we have total cost of each cost element and total of the total cost, work in process beginning inventory and this period cost. Then we have calculated equivalent units in our above table by adjusting normal and abnormal losses. For the abnormal loss, we have 1000 units which were lost abnormally, and those 1000 units had consumed department A cost totally. That's why they were 100% completed as to department A. So 1000 multiplied by 100%, that would be a 1000. And with respect to material A, those were also completed 100% because that material was added at start of the period. So we will have 100% completion stage of material A as well. So 1000 multiplied by 100%, that is 1000. Material B was not added to those units because they were lost. Material B was added only to good units which were 90% and above completed. So that is 0%. Direct labor is 90% was applied on these units. This might be taken as 100% as well because 90% is almost a 100% stage. We can have 100% as well. And when it is said that units are lost at the end of the process, we always take it as 100%. Both of them as 100%. When it is said that unit lost are at the end of the process, no percentage is given to us where these units were lost. So when it is said that unit loss were at the end of the process, we will take it 100%. So when we will take it 100%, it means that we have calculated equivalent unit of every unit. And this equivalent unit figure will be used over here for the calculation of per unit cost of each cost element. So total cost divided by equivalent units, that is 4.4077. It means that in this way we can calculate a cost per equivalent unit of each cost element. Department A, material B, material B, labor and factory overhead. When we add up of all these per unit cost, and we will have a total cost per unit of completed unit. So one unit, when one unit is completed in department B, it will have a total cost of 13.7480. And at the next stage, we will have a cost reconciliation summary. For the cost reconciliation summary, we will have this in as per as abnormal loss cost reconciliation summary. First of all, we will have to show completed unit cost. Look at this, your quantity schedule. Your quantity schedule will guide you for the preparation of these two tables. The first table, cost accumulation, is the reflection of, you must say, the headings, or the you must say the items are reflection of first part of quantity schedule. That is beginning work in process inventory. Here these are units, but here this is the cost of those work in process units, beginning inventory. And here is the received units, 12,000, and here is the cost which has been charged on these 12,000 units. So here is the reflection of this segment of quantity schedule in cost accumulation and unit cost summary. But here this segment will give us the reflection in cost reconciliation summary. In cost reconciliation, we will make reconciliation according to these units. we had completed 10,000 units and we have to compute cost of 12,000 units. We have in process 2,000 units, we have to compute cost of 2,000 units. We have normal loss because they are normal loss and cannot should not be considered separately. We need not to calculate this because they are 0.000%. So here abnormal loss, we have abnormal loss 1000 units and we need to separate that abnormal loss. It means we will have three figures to calculate in our reconciliation summary. So this segment will guide us how we will prepare our reconciliation summary. So our reconciliation summary will be like so: cost of completed and transferred out units, those are 1,37,480. That this figure has been calculated by multiplying completed units that are 10,000 with the per unit cost which we have calculated in our table 2, that is cost accumulation and unit cost summary 13.747480. Keep the figures up to 4 decimal places for the accuracy, because if you keep the figures rounding off or 2 decimal places, there will be a decimal discrepancy, and these two figures, total cost accumulated and total cost accounted for, would be different with 1 or 2 or 3 dollars figures. To avoid this difference, you need to have 4 decimal places figure. So in this way, we can have calculated 10,000 multiplied by 13.480. Then we have to calculate ending inventory work in process costs. Ending inventory work in process cost is calculated by multiplying every cost element equivalent units, which has been calculated in first table. We will use these equivalent units for the calculation of these costs elements. 2000 multiplied by per unit cost of this cost element, that is department A. So that is 2000 multiplied by 4.4077, that is 8815. So 2000 multiplied by 1.3554, that is 2711. 0 multiplied by 0.4500, that is you must say 0. And that is 1000 multiplied by 3.533563, that is 3356. And that is 1000 multiplied by 4.1786, that is 4179. When we have a total of these figures, we will have 19,061. That is the total cost of ending work in process inventory, which will be shown in our balance sheet. And on the other side, we have to calculate abnormal loss as well. And abnormal loss is calculated separately because we have to charge or record that cost separate in a separate expense account. That's why we will calculate this, because we have different equivalent unit figures over here. That's why we will calculate each cost element separately and then add up them. If we have our total equal figures over here, just like that, if I have a 1000 figure over here, just like that, if I have said that these units are lost at the end of the process, when I have taken this logic that these units are lost at the end of the process, it means that they have consumed total labor cost and total overhead cost. So these are 100% and these are 1000, and here it is also 1000. So the cost will be changed. Likewise, per unit cost will also be changed because equivalent unit has changed. And this is 1000, 1000, 0, 1000 and 1000. So these four figures have 1000 figures, and this is a 0%. So it means they are different. So we have to calculate it differently. So as a journal rule, you remember that you need to calculate differently, unless otherwise all elements have the same equivalent unit. Just like in first row, all cost element have the same ratio, same number of units. That's why we have calculated only one line figure, that is 10,000 multiplied by total cost figure. And if we have such situation in loss units as well, we have 10, 1000, 1000, 1000, 1000 and 1000 over here in 5 columns. We need not to calculate separate figures. We just have to calculate only one figure by multiplying this whole per unit cost.